All right. I am dying of the moral plague. All right, this is the second time this week I've done this. I went through the whole video and realized I wasn't recording. So we're doing this round 2 and see if it improves any bit with round 2. Probably not, but we're going to get into it. I'm Taylor. This is Cranky Comic Book Review. I'm going to probably make this one a little bit shorter because fuck me and that. Anyways, I read some books this week. Most of them were garbage. Like, this is not a good week for books. Like, at all. I only read one DC book. Yeah, one DC book, and it was digital. And it was the worst book of the week. It came out probably last month, but like, I'm not even getting to the point where I'm like pulling thumbnails from this right now. This is the Tales of the Titans Donna Troy, written by Steve Orlando, art by Lobo and somebody else. This is fucking awful. I mean, it's got the true sin of like mediocrity, and it feels like you've read this story before. Not in a comforting way. Not in a like, oh man, that's got some familiar story beats. I'm like, no, it feels like you read this entire story before. Like, it is a war-torn nation. Donna Troy goes into it, fights a bad guy, wins, and just reveals some of the bad shit behind it. I know I spoiled the entire issue right there, but it is so fucking predictable, so fucking banal, and so poorly done that I don't care. Like, honestly, Kath Lobo is the artist on most of the book, and then Bob Quinn on the last book. The art, mediocre. The story, atrociously bad. And like that's probably the best panel. The best. Never mind. I'm not going back to it. There's a few of those though. You get a few of these like full page splashes because they don't have enough story to tell, and then you get a reveal of a new bad guy, and you get. I don't want to talk about it anymore. It's awful. I do thank my friends for giving me the DC Universe Unlimited so I can read this kind of nonsense without paying extra money for it. I didn't, and I probably wouldn't have, but like I was like, I'll at least read something new that came out this week. I'm gonna read Detective Comics, but I want to read that all from the Ron V's like start of his run, and I've not had a chance to do that, so that's why I'm not talking about like Detective that came out last month today, because like the way that this DC Universe Unlimited-y thingity works is like the comics are released digitally 1 month after they come out, which is really not bad. Like, if you don't feel the need to own every single piece of like comic that comes out, you could do much worse than that DC thing. It's fairly pricey for the year, but if you read a lot of DC stuff and you just want to read it and be entertaining, not purely heartbroken because you read some nonsense, you can do worse. All right. Now I got to remember what order I had these in. Hang on, I'm readjusting. Since this is the second time I've done this, I'm going to try and make it better for myself and for you, the audience. And we'll see if I can. Yeah, all right. We're going to do that. All right. Next, we got Marvel. Fuck. Spider-Boy #1, written by Dan Slott, art by Paco Medina. This book is not aimed at me. I know it's not aimed at me, but you can write like a younger audience book and have it still be effective and good enough for adults to tolerate. And this is not it. This is just, oh God. It's full of bad puns. It's like awful villains, and like you learn sort of the origin of Spider-Boy. I guess I've not read any other Spider-Boy stuff. I don't understand the appeal of the character, especially if this is the quality of the writing that's come with it. And I do not get, like, I don't think this story is gonna. I'm probably wrong. Everyone's probably gonna love this damn thing, and I just, maybe I'm being curmudgeonly, but like, holy crap, did I not like it? Like, it's just the first 5 or 6 books this week felt like a slog to get through. And they made me wonder why the fuck I'm reading weekly books at all. Like, honestly, like the quality and the fact that like the first like 4, you add up the cost of these books up to, let's see here, up to about here. We're at $20 for these 4 books, and they are not good. Like I'm like, I could spend $20 on whiskey or tequila or tacos or anything else that would make my life happier than this shit. And like, I wouldn't have a stack of this to not care about and throw in a short box and never look at it again. But I'm speculating because there's a first appearance of some minor villain who's going to be a hero, and like some guy with a fucking bowling ball head. Spider-Boy #1. You might have liked it. I hated it. Next, like, we're going to switch this around a little bit. Almost Dead. That's how I feel inside, emotionally. You caught me, Galaxy. It's written by Galaxy, art by Ryan Benjamin. I don't know who the hell Galaxy is. I don't know who the hell Ryan Benjamin is. The art's fine. It's passable. It's just there's not a story here. Like, I mean, okay, it's a setup to a zombie book. That's it. You ever see Shaun of the Dead? The opening scenes of Shaun of the Dead? That was a much more clever way of doing what they did in this book. This book is just a fucking boring as hell, non-funny way of doing what Shaun of the Dead did. So if you've read that or if you've seen that, you'll know what I'm talking about here. You've not, I'm going to spoil it for you. Go watch Shaun of the Dead instead. And like, this is, God, this is fucking, honestly, all this shit irritates me because like, you know there are good writers and artists out there who can't get their shit made and don't have the funds or the means or whatever to make their dreams come true and write quality stuff and draw quality stuff and make quality books. And instead you get like crap that gets put out by the big two or this kind of just fucking garbage that's just... This might not be much of a review week. It just might be more of a rant week. And I apologize. Actually, I don't. Like, I'm just doing this... I'm reviewing these books for the fun of it, and like this is not a fun week for me, so it is what it is. All right. These next books could be interchangeable in order. They're just whatever. Unnatural Order #1, Vault Comics, Chris Yost, somebody, and Val Rodriguez. I did like Val Rodriguez's art in this. I think the art is the strong point. The art is, which deserves a better book. It really does. Like there's some great pages in here. If you like the Visigoth and Roman Empire and stuff, you might like the visuals enough for this book to carry you. And there are some, like I said, the visuals are fucking great. The story by Chris Yost made me itchy. And I don't mean that in an emotional way. It's just I'm reading it, and like there's just something off about the pacing, something off about the way it jumps around, and something off about like kind of all of it. That it just kind of drove me a little bit bananas too. Like, it's not as bad as the first lump of shit I read this week, but this is not still what I'd call a quality book. It just feels like it's missing something like that's necessary in order to like capture the reader's interest. Sorry, I got a phone call while I'm doing this, and I'm ignoring it for you people. And I can't tell what it is. Like, it feels, the elements should be there, and it should have some nice horror element. It should have a nice, like, kind of thing, but, like, it still manages, even with the art and even all that, it still manages to be, like, painfully uninteresting and, like, just kind of, whatever. Another one with weird as shit timing issues and, like, weird as hell choices by the artist and writer. Danny Luckert's on the art. Like the art. Karina Bechko, whatever is on that writing. This is the space between #1. It's a caste war, or two different uppers and lowers. That Downton Abbey, that upstairs, downstairs, whatever. That's this in space. So there's the servant class and the rich pilot class, and then they each have their struggles, and then two of the people meet. Spoilers. I'm wondering which two. It's pretty ham-fisted with as far as what they're going for is the politics. But even that said, they're not even really talking about like a lot of the relevant stuff that would be an issue in a caste system in a large spaceship where everyone's kind of trapped in like generation ship where they're all going to the new planet and like the caste system set in place for the good of everybody. It still doesn't really deal with anything real. And then, like, the choices of the timing towards the end of this book in, like, hang on, 1, 2, Jesus Christ, in 2 pages, like, they managed to make this the most awkwardly timed book I think I've ever read. And like I don't understand what they're going for. I don't care enough to like find out next issue. There's a purpose for what they did with the last 2 pages, but like, God damn it, God damn it! Like honestly, like it's all just so bizarre to me. And this is just one of those like I don't fucking understand. Not a good book either. So you just take the first 5 and shuffle them up in any order. And then we got another Marvel book. Well, the only other Marvel book I read this week. Ultimate Universe #1, Jonathan Hickman and Caselli. I can't remember the first name. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. Caselli is in the art. This is a follow-up to the Ultimate Incest Invasion Inverseness in Intellectual Exercise, whatever the fuck the last miniseries was called that Hickman did with the Maker and stuff. This is the follow-up to that, but it's just Hickman dicking around in the multiverse again. I don't mind it. I mean, it's an entertaining romp. Like if he's playing with different versions of Marvel characters, and I think he likes doing it, and he's good at it, and it's entertaining enough. It just doesn't seem like it's really going to go anywhere again. Like honestly, like I'm sure it's setting up to the new Ultimate Universe because it's in the title. But whatever. You get like a Ultimate Iron Man, an Ultimate Thor, an Ultimate Doctor Doom, and an Ultimate Alternate, whatever the fuck, Alternator. Yeah, you get a bunch of different versions of characters, and then they're trying to save the world, and other versions are not. Pretty deep stuff here. You do get a chart, though. You get at least a sort of visual. So you get the world. It's Hickman. You got to have the charts, and then you get charts. It's fine. If you like his other stuff that he's done, like the Battle Worlds or whatever the hell, or any other stuff he's done for Marvel, you'll probably like this. It's nothing special. It's nothing revelatory. It's not even like all that exciting. It's just him dicking around. Yeah, like I said, playing around with other versions of the Marvel characters, and it's fine. Next, we have The Sacrificers by Rick Remender and Max Fiumara. This is high fantasy in a fantasy realm where like animal creatures are human and there's gods. Then there's animal creatures. And the book is called The Sacrificers. And if you can't figure out what's going on from just those things, I don't know what to tell you because it's pretty predictable. If you want warm, fuzzy, predictable high fantasy, this is it. It's like the art by Fiumara is pretty cool. And character designs are cool, and you get like some fun stuff. But this is the big reveal issue where they finally reveal why the people are being sacrificed, and it's pretty damn predictable. Like honestly, like if you can't think of it in the top one or two things off the top of your head as far as why people might be sacrificed to everlasting gods, I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, and that's this. And then there's like the setup at the very end with the character I don't remember reading about in the other 3 issues. Now I was going to go do something about it. But this is issue number 4, and each issue feels like someone's going to do something about it. The problem of the sacrificing and the stuff and the things, and it just doesn't happen. I'll keep up with this because I do like my warm, fuzzy fantasy, and I'm just in a shit-ass mood with these books today. This is fine. It's not amazing. Probably the worst of the Sacrificers books I've read because it's just kind of like, yep, all right. Yep, that's what I thought it'd be. So, whatever. Still cool enough that I'm going to keep reading it. And then we have Scott Snyder and Dan Panosian on Canary. It's a Western horror book written by Scott Snyder, art by Dan Panosian, with colors by Dan Panosian. I love Panosian's colors in this, and the story is decent. If you know what a canary is in coal mine culture or whatever, it gives you a sort of hint as to what's going on here. But there's killers across the land, and they might be interconnected somehow, and this marshal has to go find out. And he's a badass marshal that books have been written about, and he's not quite like the books, apparently. And I mean, it's an entertaining enough Western romp. Is it amazing? No. The art is the strong point. The writing is fine. You get a lot of bang for $5. This is 2 issues, I believe, in one, because it's Comixology, and it was digital first, I believe. And so, which is kind of like, I think, a deal that Snyder has them, where, he'll do 2, I think this is probably going to be 2 more issues, but crammed into 1 more print, probably. I'm not really looked and paid attention, but, it is gorgeous. You do get some cool stuff in here. It's still mostly a setup, and, the main character trying to find the page where he wears a mask. Oh, there you go. He wears a mask, and it's apparently a coffin mask, but it had to be explained in writing because it didn't really come across. That does not look like a fucking coffin on a mask, does it? No. Anyways, whatever. It was my favorite thing of the week by far, but it's still not amazing. It is just kind of a Western pulpy thing, and it's decent enough. If you like Scott Snyder, you'll probably like this. If you like Dan Panosian's art, you're going to really like this. And if you like Westerns and horror, you'll probably dig it. What I really do like, and it's not going to show up on the background, is like Dan Panosian's got like, looks like some painted colors that he's using for the skies, and I really kind of like that technique. I know it's not like the biggest highlight of a thing to call out in a book, but it's pretty cool. And so yeah, the art good, the story pretty good, and that's what I read. And this is like a short enough version of this because the last one was longer, and it doesn't matter. All right, I'm Taylor. Don't be a dick, even if every comic book on the planet is fucking horrible. Happy Halloween. See ya.